Peace. It's me, your girl, Nicole, Sista Midwife, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Monday Musings with me, Sista Midwife, where I share what's on my mind about finding joy, building a Black business, Black birth, raising a free Black girl in this crazy world, and more. So today, I was planning to share information about the Sista Midwife Productions, Black Midwives, and Black Doula directories. And I am going to also still be talking about that. But before I do, I had to share this. So last night, I got a text with a link to an article about Erykah Badu and birth work. Now, if you have been following my Monday Musings since I kicked them off this year, about 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago, I did a video, the Herstory of Black Doulas, the Sista Midwife edition, and I spoke on Erykah and her connection to the ICTC and how I met her, and we had an opportunity to see her at the Long Beach conference. And so I want to share this article with you that I got linked to last night, and then we will get into the directory as we do the Herstory of Black Doulas, the Sista Midwife edition part 2. Okay, so now let me start off with this BuzzFeed article. Okay, so the title of the article is "Here are 17 Black celebrities with impressive accomplishments outside of the career that made them famous." Number 1 on the list, singer, songwriter, and the queen of neo soul herself, Miss Erykah Badu, is also a doula. She's delivered more than 50 babies, including Summer Walker's 3 and Tiana Taylor's youngest, since 2001. Then they quoted an Essence article that was published in 2024, where Erykah was quoted as saying, "It's a sisterhood, it's childbirth, it's a ceremony, it's a spiritual walk, and doulas are not created, they are born." I also believe that some of this is the reality. You're not made into a doula. I train doulas, and anybody who's trained with me, they will let you know on day 1 of the training. I'm not about to make you no doula. Either you're a doula or you're not. Either you're in this work or you're not. Either it's in your heart and soul or it's not. There's nothing that I can do to make you that thing. As a doula trainer, I give you skills, information, insights, language as you to navigate some of the things inside of the business, but I can't make you no doula, baby. You was born with it. So she said you're born with that type of heart and patience, and you're drawn towards the work. She goes on to say in this quote, she said, "I had some very talented and patient mentors, one being Shafia Monroe. Shafia is the founder of the ICTC, the International Center for Traditional Childbearing. I went through her program and after I had already participated in 14 births, and she learned what they call what direct entry midwifery means. That is that you're learning in the field. So she was a doula, but she also has done a little bit of midwifery work, because we have to remember that there's always a distinction between a midwife and a doula. Doulas actually don't deliver babies. And personally, I don't even think midwives deliver babies. Nobody delivers the baby except the mother who is pregnant and who is pushing that baby out. She is the one who is delivering the baby, not the midwife, not the doula, not the doctor, not nobody but the mama who is pushing the baby out. That's a whole nother sidebar conversation that I'm not going to get into today. At any rate, if we're using it in the traditional sense of who delivered the baby, doulas do not deliver babies. Doulas do not deliver babies. Midwives deliver babies. There is a difference. I keep getting sidetracked from this article. Y'all can go look it up. I'm just skimming through it. I'm not reading the whole thing anyway. But she said exactly that taking the training with ICTC, she learned some textbook and some technical things that she wouldn't have known. But you have to already have this instinct, and you can build on your instinct. I can tell you that you can build on your instinct, but it also is important to have the language as a birth worker. And then she goes on to say, the doula is the conductor. After pulling everything together, the doula disappears into a corner, but still helps and holds space as needed. You become patient. You walk softly. It seeps into your everyday life. You are of service at all times. The greatest among you shall be your servant." End quote. So I love that. I love that I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and now it's being elevated and highlighted in this BuzzFeed. So that was just cool. I just wanted to tap into that. The reality is, Erykah Badu is a doula. She's done some midwifery work. Everybody can't hire Erykah Badu, okay? But we have done, here at Sista Midwife Productions, we have done a pretty good job of helping people find a Black doula. So it's still Black History Month, And if you didn't know, USA Today did a special edition for Black History, and Sista Midwife and the Black Doula Directory was featured as a part of this article. So you could search that up, download those articles, and check out a little bit of the information. But I wanted to come and really give the history of this Black Doula Directory from where it started to how it is now. So originally, it was like the end of 2011. I was on Twitter heavy at that time, 2011, and there was always people all the time talking about, I live in New Jersey, or I live in Philly, or I live in Oakland, and I'm looking for a Black doula. Does anybody know a Black doula? It was constant. It was birth workers who knew somebody from Chicago, her Chicago cousin looking for a doula, so she in Twitter or on Facebook looking for somebody. I am not a techie. IT is not my thing. Computers are not my thing at all. But I just kept thinking to myself, there has got to be a way to make this easier. Why are we being so archaic? Like, we're using technology. We didn't came up, we're using Twitter and Facebook, but it still felt very, very archaic. So in early 2012, I had just like LLC, Sista Midwife Productions. And I was like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something about this because I want this to be easier. So really in the beginning, to be quite honest, when I started it, it was really to help Black birth workers stop having to, because they're searching all over looking for a person that they could refer to their friends. That's really how it started off. So from the ICTC days and going to the different conferences and stuff, I knew some people. So I just got on my email list and I emailed everybody and I say, hey, this is something that I want to do. I'm going to start this Black birth worker directory. And it had midwives, it had doulas, it had lactation specialists on there. It wasn't about what kind of midwife or what kind of doula or where you trained or what kind of credential that you had or anything like that. Are you Black? Do you self-identify as Black, and are you serving the community as a Black birth worker? If the answer is yes, you could jump on this directory. So I sent out this email, I connected it to a Google form, and people began filling it out. I'm talking a lot of people, a little bit at a time. It started off small and then it began to grow. It was all text. There weren't any photos. It was alphabetized by first name, and then everybody was put into a state. Every time a new person filled out the Google form, I had to if it was a big state like California or Georgia or like the DMV, I would have to rearrange the entire page. And then some people who worked in a couple of different states, like maybe they work in Georgia and Florida, they were in 2 different pages, depending on where they lived and where they served. So me, interns, every blue moon, a volunteer, we were struggling with this directory. The requests to get listed kept coming through. We started getting a few complaints. I want you to change my phone number. You still haven't changed it. And I was like, listen, y'all, this is a labor of love. I do not guarantee anything from it. I wasn't getting paid to do it. It was just something that I utilized the website that I already had to add pages that were connected to the states. And it was really, really beautiful. And I loved doing it. But I knew that if I was going to keep doing it, I had to find a way to make it easier, to automate it, because I did not have the capacity to keep doing it. And I didn't want the people on the other side, whether that was mamas or doulas, to be like, not getting what they needed. So your phone number hasn't been changed yet. Your state needs to be deleted. You want to get deleted, just all of those different things. So did some research, did some digging, found a way to automate the directory and upgrade the experience for everybody. So this started in around 2018. We launched a new directory platform with 3 different tiers where there was always a free membership. I wanted to maintain and continue that there was always going to be a free membership. But now this new platform was costing me money. And I wanted to be able to have help to pay somebody to be able to maintain the directory. So I did begin to charge nominal fees for 2 different various upgrade options. Now, before we did the full transfer into this new platform, we went inside a Facebook group called Doulas of Color, which, as I thought about planning for today and I thought about the Black doula history, I thought about, I wonder if this Facebook group still exists. I don't know if it does exist. If it does, let me know in the chat. I haven't been on Facebook in a really long time. But at that time, the Doulas of Color Facebook group was really, really popular. That was another place where Black doulas would come and say, does anybody know a doula here, there, or wherever? So I'm starting this I have the directory already. but we want to upgrade the experience, make it a lot better. And so we went there, we put a poll asking them what features were most important to them, what features they wanted to see. And that's kind of how we've decided how to set up the directory, the early phase of the current directory, right? Still at this time, everybody was on one directory. Midwives, doulas, lactation support. We also had womb wellness and fertility wellness practitioners. We had acupuncturists who supposedly just did like womb, not just, but specialized in womb wellness stuff. And it was growing and it was automated. I did have a little bit more help with it, but still not any firm help that could devote all of the time to the directory. I wanted to, but we were also training, and I was speaking and doing conferences and creating the art of birthing and all kind of other stuff. And so the directory was kind of on autopilot, but it continued to grow organically and became eventually the largest and most comprehensive Black birth worker directory on the internet, having people across the country, even internationally. So because of the work that we had already laid out, in 2022, I received this mysterious email from a company representing a company who wanted to talk to me about my directory and what a partnership would look like. And that turned out to be the partnership that was developed with Baby Dove, with the Baby Dove brand. As we began to talk about the directory and what they wanted to see, they wanted to separate out the doulas from everybody else because they wanted the doulas to have their own directory, mostly because they wanted to make sure that there was not confusion between a midwife and a doula and who a family is connecting with when they come to this directory. So our partnership was fully solidified in 2023 during Black Maternal Health Week. We launched the new version of the Black Doula Directory. And so now we have two directories. Sista Midwife Directory, which still holds a list of Black midwives from across the country, lactation professionals. If you are not listed and you are a lactational professional or a midwife, please feel free to go get listed. There is a free version over there, SistaMidwifeDirectory.com. And now we have separately the Black Doula Directory. Again, if you are a doula and you are not listed, please go there and list yourself, blackdouladirectory.com. If you are a family, if you are a mama, if you are a baba, if you are searching for a Black midwife or a doula, both of those directories are available to you. We recommend that you search by state first and then narrow it down by city in the way that it most makes sense for you. What else do I want to say about this? I will say this. Over the past 2 years, I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, right? Over the past 2 years since the partnership launched, we've had the opportunity, because of the partnership, to have somebody on staff who part-time for sure, but who can really focus on the directory. So we've been doing a lot of back office maintenance and updates to improve the user experience overall for both birth workers and families. I'm super excited about that. We are still working behind the scenes. And in 2025, there's going to be more stuff coming. We're launching new features, so definitely stay connected. Now, when we split into two directories, it was a no-brainer really, because the doulas were always the biggest category. We have more doulas than we do midwives, right? So we had the doula directory now has over 2,000 members on the Black Doula Directory. It is still definitively the largest and most comprehensive Black Doula Directory on the internet. And then our Sista Midwife Directory still has the midwives and lactation consultants. Right now, we do still have these fertility and womb specialist categories, but we're going to be streamlining all of that and cleaning everything up because, again, our goal is that the directory continue to serve the primary purpose, which is connecting Black families to the Black birth workers that they are looking for. That was from the beginning. I don't want it to be a burden for anybody. I want it to be valuable for everybody who is connected to it. So that's all that. It is a super exciting experience to me to be able to say that I created this thing that is now grown into really a global phenomenon. I'm gonna say a global phenomenon now. All right. I crack myself up sometimes. I want to answer a few key questions about the Black Doula Directory. Oh, child, we doing one take here. I'm not editing none of this stuff out because who has time for that? I'm not no editor, y'all. I'm not even doing that. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I want to answer a few key questions about the Black Doula Directory. First, how do you get listed? You go to blackdouladirectory.com. You click in the upper right hand corner, a little red button say get listed. You fill out the information. Make sure you fill out all the information. No, you do not have to be certified to be listed. You must identify as Black and identify as a doula. You send us your stuff. You send us, you fill out the stuff, you give us your IG and your Facebook or your business website or whatever. We check you out. We like, oh, yep, she look like she rocking like a doula. We rock with her, boom, and we will approve you if you are have all of this stuff filled out. If you don't fill out all of this stuff and we don't have the information that we need, which really is the information, number one, to make sure that you're actually doing birth work, and number two, the information that a family would need to contact you. So your email, your phone number, however you want to connect. If we don't have all of that, your profile will not be approved. It can still be approved. All you gotta do is log back in and fill in the information. Now, are you a pregnant family and you are looking for a doula? How does it work for you? First, know that Sista Midwife Productions does not endorse nor provide recommendations for any of the doulas listed on the directory. That's the same thing for the Black Midwife directory as well, but just for clarity, okay? So you're looking for a doula. We encourage you to go and search by state and then narrow it down to zip code or city, the way that makes sense once you see your results. If you're in a really like California, you might could start off just by saying Oakland, but if you say Oakland, you're only gonna get the Oakland people. And that's why I say narrow it by state, so you can see the people who might be in Richmond or in whatever. Y'all know out there in Northern California, you got all these little cities, right? So you want to make sure that you use the zip code feature or the state feature for sure, for starting out. Now, are you listed on the directory already? If you are, I really want to say thank you, because without you being listed, the directory would not exist. Without you being listed, the directory would not exist. So if you are listed, whether you are free or premium, it does not matter. We are grateful for you being a part of this directory. If you have searched and found your person on our directory, we sit in gratitude for that experience, because that helps us know that the directory is indeed serving its purpose. And I know that it's working because I see y'all out in the streets. I've gotten emails from people saying, hey, I found my midwife, I found my doula. I've had doulas email and say that, you know, every client they got their first year in business came from a directory before they really started getting their word of mouth. Sidebar, if you are a new Black doula, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get out there in the streets? That's one way you could do it. Put yourself on that Black doula directory. Get yourself a premium listing. You can upload your picture, a bio, have a SoundCloud, all kind of stuff. Go and get your premium listing. That could be very beneficial for you. That said, if you have a testimony about our directory, whether as a birth worker, a midwife, a doula, lactation consultant, as a mom, please take a moment. Drop a comment below. Tell us about your win, your story, because that warms my heart and lets me know that the work that we're doing is serving the purpose. I know for a fact that our Black Doula directory is a part of Black Doula Herstory. I'm excited that it came and it was birthed out of me. It just warms my heart. It's one of my most proudest thing. So I appreciate you joining me for that ride. All right, y'all, that's all I got. As always, take what you like and leave the rest. Until next week, peace.